Will robotics companies weaponize the robots? Robots have been around for decades, but only in recent years have they become more mainstream. And not just as vacuum cleaners and lawn mowers, companies are developing robots to carry out complex tasks like surgery or construction work. But with advancements in AI and companion bots, it's only a matter of time before autonomous machines become weaponized. During the Cold War, both the US and Soviet Union explored the idea of weaponizing robots for wartime duties. But could we see this happen again in the near future? What is a robot? Robots are machines that can be programmed to carry out a series of complex tasks. They are increasingly being used in a variety of industries, including manufacturing, healthcare, logistics, and defense. With the rapid advancement of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning, robots are becoming more sophisticated and are able to perform more complex tasks. This has raised concerns about the possibility of robots being weaponized. There are currently no laws or regulations specifically governing the use of weaponized robots. However, the United Nations Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons does prohibit the use of fully autonomous weapon systems that can select and engage targets without human intervention. The development of weaponized robots is a controversial issue with ethical, legal, and security implications. There are concerns that these weapons could fall into the hands of terrorists or other malicious actors. Additionally, there is a risk that these weapons could become uncontrollable and pose a threat to both civilians and military personnel. The history of robots in warfare. Robots have been used in warfare for centuries, with the first recorded use of robotic warriors dating back to the 12th century. In recent years, however, the use of robots in warfare has become more widespread and sophisticated, with militaries around the world employing them for a variety of tasks. Another area where robots are increasingly being used is in bomb disposal. Robots such as the PackBot and iRobot 710 Warrior have proved invaluable in disposing of roadside bombs and other improvised explosive devices, IEDs. These robots allow troops to approach potential threats from a safe distance, greatly reducing the risk to human life. As well as being used for combat operations, robots are also playing an increasingly important role in peacekeeping missions. For example, the United Nations has begun using robots to deliver supplies to remote areas in Africa that are inaccessible by road. This not only helps to save lives, but also reduces the amount of time and money needed to transport goods around difficult terrain. It is clear that robots are increasingly playing a vital role in modern warfare. What are weaponized robots? In recent years, there has been an increasing trend of robotics companies developing and marketing weaponized robots. These are robots that have been specifically designed and built for the purpose of using lethal or non-lethal force against humans or other targets. There are a number of reasons why robotics companies may be interested in developing and selling weaponized robots. The robotics industry is a fast-growing tech sector that will be worth over $586 billion by 2030, according to global data forecasts. Another reason is that weaponized robots offer a number of advantages over traditional weapon systems, such as being more precise and easier to control. Of course, there are also a number of potential risks associated with the development and use of weaponized robots. For example, there is a danger that these machines could fall into the hands of criminals or terrorists who could use them to cause harm. There is also the risk that robotic weapons could eventually become so sophisticated that they could threaten the very existence of humanity itself. At present, it seems unlikely that any robot will be able to match or exceed the destructive power of nuclear weapons. However, it is still important to consider the implications of weaponized robots as their capabilities continue to increase. It is possible that someday soon we may need to grapple with the question of whether or not to allow these machines to exist at all. The dangers of robot weaponization. There are many dangers that come with weaponizing robots. First, if autonomous machines are given the authority to kill humans, there's always the danger that they're making the wrong decision. It would be difficult to program robots to make split-second decisions against human targets with any level of certainty. On the other hand, there are concerns that humans are making the wrong decision when they decide to kill other humans. If autonomous machines make mistakes, they could cause unnecessary harm and loss of life. Furthermore, a robot could be hacked and used against humans. It's also possible that a robot's decision-making software could be tampered with in such a way that it makes false decisions and shoots uninvolved humans. There's also a chance that hackers could program robots to kill humans in other countries. These dangers are extremely troubling and could significantly alter global relations and trigger a new arms race. Will humans be shot by robots? There's currently a debate about whether robots will shoot humans or simply repel them. Some experts argue that robots will simply be used to repel humans and not shoot them. However, others believe that lethal autonomous machines will be used to shoot humans. There could be a few scenarios in which robots shoot humans and other robots. First, robots could be programmed to shoot humans who try to attack the machines. Second, if robots are fighting on the same side, there could be accidents where one robot accidentally shoots another. There could also be intentional cases where robots shoot humans who aren't part of the battle. These cases would likely be due to errors in the software or hacking. Finally, there could be deliberate targeting of human soldiers by enemy robots. The pros of using weaponized robotics. There are many pros of using weaponized robotics. First, it would be easier to take down enemies. Currently, it's difficult to take down enemy drones, airplanes, and other machinery. On the other hand, it would be easier to take down terrestrial enemies with autonomous robots. Robots could also be used to repel enemy attacks. For example, if a country is attacked with nuclear missiles, autonomous robots could be used to repel the attacks. Robots can be deployed to dangerous or difficult-to-reach areas without putting human lives at risk. They can be designed specifically for combat situations, meaning they could be more effective than human soldiers in certain scenarios. The use of robots in warfare could potentially reduce the overall number of casualties, as they would not feel pain or fear like humans do. The cons of using weaponized robotics. There are many cons of using weaponized robotics. First, it could cause an arms race. Countries are likely to ramp up their robotics technology in response to one another. This could lead to an increase in global arms spending and the death of many innocent people. It could also be difficult to know who's responsible for attacks. When a new country is attacked, it would be difficult to determine who's responsible. This could lead to an increase in paranoia and trigger a new Cold War. In addition, autonomous robots could cause an increase in deaths and not just an increase in attacks. Types of weapons that will be used by robots. There are many types of weapons that will likely be used by robots. First, there are many handheld weapons that are already being used on the battlefield. Handguns are being used for crowd control, rifles for long-distance combat, and machine guns for short-distance combat. Grenades, missiles, and other explosive devices are also being used in the battlefield. There are also long-range weapons already being used in the battlefield, such as snipers and tanks. Some of these weapons are already semi-autonomous, but could be fully autonomous. Finally, there are long-range weapons that aren't currently being used in the battlefield. These weapons could be used by autonomous robots such as lasers, microwave guns, and sound cannons. Limitations of robotic weapons. Since autonomous robots are programmed machines, there are significant limitations to the weapons. For example, robots could be programmed to repel enemies and not kill them. However, there are also significant limitations on programming robots to repel humans. If a robot is programmed to repel humans, it's difficult to program it to be selective. Essentially, the robot would need to repel any human that gets close to it. This could cause significant harm to innocent people. Similarly, robots could be programmed to destroy particular things, and not humans. However, it's difficult to program robots to destroy specific things in a specific way. There could be a host of issues with destroying certain things and not others. For example, if there's an oil leak in a nearby body of water, it would be difficult to know how to clean it up without destroying the area around it. What do robotics companies say about weaponized robots? Do robotics companies have plans to weaponize the robots? That's a question that's been on a lot of people's minds lately. You might be surprised to hear that most robotics companies are actually against weaponizing robots. Take a company like Boston Dynamics, for example. This is a leading name in robotics, and for good reason. The company has been at the forefront of robotics research and development for years, and its robots are some of the most advanced and capable in the world. From military-grade robots like Big Dog to consumer-oriented products like Spot Mini, Boston Dynamics is a company to watch, but even they say that they have no plans to make weapons. 5 other companies joined the pledge: Agility Robotics, Anybotics, Clearpath Robotics, Open Robotics, and Unitree. In a statement released to the public, they said, "We do not intend to make lethal weapons." Many robotics companies share this sentiment. They see the potential for weaponized robots, but they're more interested in making robots that can help people than hurt them. How to prevent weaponized robots from taking over? Most people think of robots as machines that are used to perform tasks or tasks that are repetitive and dull. However, some companies are now weaponizing robots, outfitting them with guns, knives, and other deadly weapons. While these weaponized robots may seem like a scene out of a science fiction movie, they could soon become a reality if we're not careful. So how do we prevent weaponized robots from taking over? For starters, we need to regulate the sale and use of these robots. Currently, there are no laws in place specifically governing the use of weaponized robots. This needs to change. We also need to ensure that these robots are only used for defensive purposes and not offensive ones. We don't want soldiers replaced by robots, because then wars would be fought without any casualties on our side. So any robot that is designed for military use should only be used for defensive purposes. Lastly, we need to educate people about the risks of weaponized robots. Too often, people think of robotics as something harmless or even cute. Think Boston Dynamics Spot Mini Robot Dog. But make no mistake, these weaponized robots can be very dangerous and should be treated with caution and respect. Conclusion: from humanoid robots to AI, there are many advancements in robotics that will impact society. In the future, we could see fully autonomous machines that can make their own decisions. These machines would be able to defend against attacks, gather information, and perform many important tasks. Unfortunately, there are significant dangers that come with weaponizing robots. There's the risk of making mistakes, being hacked, and causing. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy it, hit the like and subscribe button for more informative videos.